What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Monday. Got a nice 6-game slate here tonight, and I got it broken down for you with 6 of my favorite plays on the slate, my money 6. So before we get going, be sure to slap a like in the video if you're ready to win some money here to kick off the week on DraftKings. I always try to get over 100 likes in this video. If we can hit that, I'd greatly appreciate it. And let's just hop right into the plays. First guy up, I'm going to go with Giannis going against Brooklyn. Their defense down low is just not very good at all, and they allow a lot of rebounds to these bigger guys that absorb the rebounds on the defensive end. So I think Giannis can have another huge game here. Good for like maybe one of those 30, 15, and 5 type of games that he can get. In his one game against Brooklyn this year, he dropped a triple-double, good for 72 DraftKings points, so he's had big upside in the past. On the road, the Bucks haven't been as dominant, so maybe this game can just stay closer for Giannis to get that extra run and get that huge upside. He was going off against the Wizards last game, but he didn't get his full complement of minutes because it was a blowout. And then against Toronto, he got in foul trouble there, so he only got 28 minutes, but he was balling out. So he has really big upside. If he can just get his normal 35 to 37 minutes, he's going to go off in this matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. Then I'm going to go with Bradley Beal here at 9,100. This is a big pace uptick for the Wizards. They're implied a lot more points than they normally score, and Beal, he's the guy that really carries the load in the offensive end. He's going to be shooting the ball over 20 times, I imagine, this game. He's had some big-time performances already against the Hawks in 3 games. He's averaging 54% from the field, 41% from 3, and 50 DraftKings points on average. So I think he can definitely catch fire from the three-point line against this defense. They're very bad against three-point shooters, one of the worst teams in the league. And they played a very fast pace, so this is really a very fantasy-friendly game. I do not mind stacking this game at all if you want to go down that route. So at 9,100, Beal, I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. Then I'm going to go with DeMar DeRozan. He's a little bit cheap here in this matchup. Going against the Kings, another team that plays at a very fast pace. So the Spurs will see a pace uptick, and that really helps out DeMar DeRozan, I think, out of most people on the Spurs, because he is a guy that handles the ball the most part, and he's just kind of been struggling a little bit recently in his first 2 games back from injury, only 35 and 29 DraftKings points to show for it. But that's made him a nice little value here on DraftKings at 7,500. He's normally priced around the $8,000 range, and he has big upside, I think, in this matchup going against the Kings. Derek White, their starting point guard, actually got ruled out for this game, so some more possible looks for DeRozan, because Derek White was actually doing a pretty solid job scoring the ball at the point guard role, and now they'll probably have Bryn Forbes or Patty Mills start at the point guard, who there are decent scorers but not going to need as many looks. They kind of play more off ball than Derek White does, so DeRozan can see a few more assists, score a little bit more here, and it's going to be a fairly high-scoring game, more points than the Spurs typically put up. So I like DeRozan a lot in this matchup. I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third guy. Then I'm going to go with Reggie Jackson here. This is a guy that's been seeing a lot more minutes with Ish Smith. I think he came back last game, actually, but Reggie Jackson seems like he's starting to get locked in to around 35 minutes a game. That's really big for his upside. He is a scoring point guard, so when he sees those good, solid minutes, he's going to give you some good fantasy production. So 46, 42, and 39 the last 3 games. And there weren't great matchups in this Milwaukee game. It really wasn't. That was a really good game from him. The Clippers, I guess that was actually a pretty solid matchup, but he just played really well, shooting 50% from 3 and stuff like that. So he was able to hit a huge upside. And then this matchup against Denver, I'm assuming that Jamal Murray will sit out again in this game. And Monte Morris, he is only a second-year guard. His defense is still, it's okay, but it's not as good as Jamal Murray's defense. So I think Reggie Jackson could take advantage of that matchup, and with the extra run, be able to give us some good upside again on his price tag at 5,200. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my fourth guy. Then I'm going to go with Mason Plumlee. This is assuming that Paul Millsap is also out today in this game. Came out as questionable with an ankle injury. And going against a Detroit team that isn't great, I think they could just sit out Paul Millsap and be a little bit safe. Seems like they have been a little bit safe with guys like Gary Harris and Jamal Murray recently. So there's no reason for them not to do that with Millsap as well. And Mason Plumlee, whenever he starts, he's just really good for fantasy points. When he gets around 30 minutes a game, He's normally able to give you like 5 to 6 times value at his 4,100 price tag. If you look at his minutes per game, he's averaging 19.4 and 21.7 fantasy points per game. So he's averaging more than 1 fantasy point per minute. So if he can get up to like 25 to 30 minutes with the start, and he's going against Blake Griffin, so there is more of a need to have some more size out there to counteract them. So Mason Plumlee, I think he can have huge upside here at 4,100 if Millsap is out. Obviously, if Millsap plays, then don't go Mason Plumlee. The only thing you could really root for is if Millsap actually is like playing hurt, and then Plumlee gets some extra run. But that's a little bit of a risky strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in Plumlee, though. The good thing is that game starts at 7 p.m., so we should get word before lock if Millsap is in or not. And if he is in, I'll tweet out a pivot from Mason Plumlee onto another guy. And for my final guy, though, Frank Jackson, another guy. You always want to target the minutes, and Frank Jackson, he got 42 minutes last game against San Antonio. Do I expect him to get 42 minutes again in this game? No, I don't. But obviously, if he can just get like 30 of those 42, I think he's still like supreme value at 3,700. A guy that is able to score pretty well. I mean, he put up 20 shots in the last game, and he has the ability to maybe get a few more helper stats with the rebounds and assists. The scoring total is obviously very encouraging. So at 3,700, not a great matchup going against the Pacers. They do play at a pretty slow pace, but I think just the opportunity for Frank Jackson again here in this game is too big to turn up. So to turn down. So at 3,700, I'm gonna go ahead and lock in Frank Jackson as my final guy. So you got Reggie Jackson, Bradley Beal, Giannis, Mason Plumlee, DeMar DeRozan, and Frank Jackson. So I hope you guys enjoyed the plays. Slap a like if you did. You can comment any questions down below if you have a question on the slate, and definitely follow me on Twitter at MoneyWebby for any updates on the plays, especially that Mason Plumlee play if I have to change that one up if Millsap plays. But yeah, subscribe to the channel to continue to get these DraftKings picks and advice every single slate. But good luck here. Hope you win some money, and we'll see you back here again next time.